Welcome to the Venue Success Podcast. I'm your host, Tirzah, and we are in season 4 of our podcast. And I am just blown away that we are at this point. And I just want to start out today just by saying, for those of you that have been watching and listening faithfully from the very beginning, I have so much gratitude for you. And I'm super excited about another season where I get to introduce you to incredibly successful and just heart-driven venue owners all across the country. And so today I am here with my friend, a very new friend, Mary, and I am so excited to get to know you a little bit more today. But I have been sucked in to your website, girlfriend. Like I literally have it open off to the side right now, and I'm just watching the slides come through. And what you have built is something that I honestly have not ever seen before in the venue space. And so I'm so excited for you to share with our listeners about, okay, I'm just watching this. And if you're just listening and not watching the podcast today, I apologize, but the energy that you could feel coming through my screen, I'm actually going to have to turn it off because it's so distracting to me. The energy that I feel from your venue is incredible. Like, I don't know that I have felt this much before. So literally, I'm taking this off the screen right now, so I'm not distracted by it. But, um, you know, people approach this venue life in a lot of different angles. And some of us kind of happen into it. Some of it is like destiny for us. Some of us, it's been like a lifelong dream for us to be venue owners. Some of us, like me, are the child of a venue owner parent, and you just kind of it's handed kind of down to you and it's been your whole entire life. So we all come at this from different places. And as we were preparing today, Mary was saying kind of that the way that they run their venue is a little bit different. And I think that that is an understatement for sure. So please, Mary, tell us, the listeners, a little bit about you, your husband, and then we're just going to kind of dive into what caused you to want to take your venue in the angle that it is. So tell us about you, your husband, and the name of your venue. We'll definitely put the link to your website in our show notes as well. But take it away, Mary. Tell us whatever it is that you want to share about you and your hubby and what got you into the venue space.
Well, there's just a lot. But first of all, I want to say thank you so much, Tirzah, for everything that you do and for creating this podcast so others can learn. And that is just such a blessing because we can always, doesn't matter at what age you are or how many degrees you have, that
So
sense
true.
of humility, it allows for the magic to happen and for you to receive lessons from anywhere. Anybody can be your teacher. So thank you so much for everything that you do. This has been such a transformational journey for me. It I never thought that I will be one day a venue owner, so to speak. I even when I was a little girl, I was born and raised in Mexico. So I am Mexican, and my parents got divorced when I was 3 years old,
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm an only child. So my image of a marriage and the house and just like that dream with the white house and the white fence around and the
Yes.
dogs it was not something that it was attainable, or it wasn't at the forefront of my upbringing. So I actually took a different path that led me to living a sculpture and to the creation of living a sculpture sanctuary. That is the name of the venue. It's living, the opposite of dying, first of all. Sculptures, which also represents our bonsai, because we are at the center of who we are is a bonsai center of desert roses, which are stunning. They have the most
Unbelievable.
incredible, yeah, like the root system. You look at it, it's like art.
Yes.
So Have you are you
I've
familiar
been
with
looking
this?
I was looking into your, the nursery link on your website, and I was seeing some of it. That's what I'm telling you, I have a healthy dose of ADHD, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is" I told her before we started today, I'm like, "I have to come to your venue, it's so incredible." But yeah, so the nature that you have, the landscaping and the nature that you have at your venue, did you create all of that, or did you buy a space that kind of had some of the natural elements already?
When I came, precisely everything that ties together. So when I was a little girl, for me, I spent a lot of time by myself, and for
Wow.
me, a place where I felt at home and loved, and with that sense of peace, it was with Mother Nature.
Yeah.
So that has been such a crucial and a center of my upbringing throughout all these years. So it was through that I ended up deciding to become an attorney,
Okay.
because I saw my parents divorce and everything. And lo and behold, when I was in law school here in my second year, I started looking around and I realized that that was not my calling. There was something much more, and I felt that. I could feel it within my veins, like literally. It was a passion, a drive, a fire, an anger. I had a lot of anger. That it was just that part of that process that is never just one sided. It's not just white and pink, but it's just those cycles that it will, and as you're overcoming them, that creates your mastery. So that's what led me to decide to practice environmental law,
Mm.
uh, from a personal injury, the plaintiff's perspective. And that's what brought us together. My husband has been one of the top environmental attorneys, nation and internationally, known for over 30 years now. And no, he's just brilliant and just so humble at the same time, which I
Mhm.
love. So
Uh-huh.
when we met, uh, he said to me, "Listen, I'm not the one hiring. It's a female partner. I'm going to introduce you to her. But I am a bonsai master, and I'm going to have a class at my nursery this Saturday. Would you mind coming?" Yeah. So that's exactly what happened. I ended up, first I say no because I wanted to keep it like very, very professional.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but like, and then something woke me up on Saturday and told me, go. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? So just like we mentioned, destiny. There's no
Uh-huh.
coincidences. It's
Yep.
meant to be.
Yeah.
So I decided coming here, and my husband had purchased this property literally 1 year, almost a year before we met.
Wow.
And it belonged to a gentleman who was retiring, and he was actually asking him to please uh, buy the property. And the property, it did not even have a bathroom. It's a nursery, but this is one of the, and as you know, well, Florida is a swamp. So
Right.
most properties, they are completely flat, and they don't
Mhm.
have, for example, North Carolina or in the northern states, you have these magnificent trees that they just bring
Right.
so much energy and beauty. So
Mhm.
this property, when I came here for the bonsai class, after the class, he gave me a tour of the property, and I encountered this canopy of live oaks, the Florida oaks, that
Oh,
they
yeah.
literally just come together like a family with a
Yeah.
strong root system. And there was a lake. There was actually a lake on the property, and you could just feel that essence of peace and like a spa. Like that's the only thing that came to my mind. Spa, SPA,
Yeah.
which is a place where you go to get restored. So that's how the sanctuary was born, because it was through the bonsai class that our love blossomed. And of course, time after the bonsai class, he proposed to me and he said, "Where would you like to get married?" And my answer to him is, well, I wanted to get married at the nursery, which is the place where we fell in love. So
I love that.
we set out to build literally the sanctuary, the core of the sanctuary with our own hands. And I'm Mexican, so I love to work. I'm like, I work like Monday to Monday, like over like 12 hours. Doesn't matter. We still can give it a little bit more. So it was very healing to build in the middle with nature. So that's exactly what happened. People began coming and say, "Wow, what are you guys building?" I'm like, "Well, a place to get married." "Oh, well, my daughter is getting married. Can we rent that out?" And I'm like, "No, it's for our wedding, and you are trespassing. So get out of here." So it was that journey that kind of happened. And then
When was
when
that, Mary? What year was that?
our wedding was in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah. And it took
Awesome.
us 2 years to build.
Wow.
And then I turn around and I start seeing other events happening, like weddings. And I start seeing the same amount of happiness or just like that in the eyes, those tears of happiness of my couples and my families and my bride and my groom that I could totally relate. Like it was as it was a clear mirror of each other. So I'm like, oh, they're so beautiful. So yeah, for me, the sanctuary is not a venue. It is a legacy. It is a legacy of a family. It is a legacy about doesn't matter where you're coming from or what you experience in your life. You decide what is it that you're gonna be giving birth. And as long as you do the work, mastering, I call it uh, all the, how to say, the crap that sometimes life throws at you.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Instead of like carrying it, you are to alchemize it,
Yes.
transform it into
Uh-huh.
fertilizer, and then you grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
I think I
this is
think what you're doing is so oh my gosh, it's so inspiring just hearing you talk about it because I think that the sanctity of marriage, the beauty of and the importance of that commitment was kind of lost along the way, right? There was a time, and it was in actually a very short amount of time because I would say my parents held marriage in a high regard, right? So we're talking like in the it shifted, I think, around in the 80s, where weddings became a production and it came about a show. And even now with social media, so much about a wedding has become um, about throwing a big party and it's less about the connection to the beauty of starting your life with someone, right? There's just something that has shifted along the way. And I think one of the reasons that I love having you here today is because I resonate so deeply with that. My husband and I started, I don't even think you even know about this, but we started a premarital course for couples called Marriage Bound to help them prepare their hearts for that incredible moment because I feel like there's so much about planning a wedding that it becomes all about the party and less about the marriage. And that all of the things that you're saying have to do with the intimate part of this. You know, you even said it's not a venue, it's a legacy, right? Like it's so much more than just having a dance party with your friends, right? Like there is a deep spiritual connection to what it is that you're doing and I wanna have more and more conversations about this in 2026. Like, it's a huge, um, cry of my heart, honestly, to bring couples back to the sanctity of marriage, right? And I think what you're doing and even being in nature, I think that there's such a spiritual connection in nature and having all that beauty around people. So anyway, I don't want to take away from you talking, but I just wanted to just let you know, like I so genuinely agree with you on this. And I will say to listeners, if this feels like kooky to you, I want you to pause and ask yourself why that feels weird to you. Like where is it that you're feeling disconnected? Because this can't be all about dollars and pennies, and it can't just be all about money. I understand that that is a huge part of it for people, but if I could just draw your attention to even the way that Mary is talking today about the connection that she has as a business owner to her venue, a lot of us have lost the connection as to why we are venue owners in the first place. I was just on a coaching call before we got on the podcast with someone, and I asked her this question. She was also a previous attorney as well, which is really funny. And I was asking her, why are you doing this? And I think that as a venue coach, sometimes it feels weird for us to be like, why? Why? Because we have to get back to that central core
Mm.
reason. Because otherwise, why in the world would we work from Monday to Monday, 12 to 15 hours a day building? Why? Your husband is successful, right? Do you need this as a job? Probably not, right? So getting back to that core connection as to why we're doing it is incredibly important. And so anyway, I just had to reiterate what you're saying and how beautiful it is. I want to commend you that you know your why,
Mm.
because I think that honestly, it's a huge selling point for people too, because Gen Z actually is longing for connectivity more than their previous generation. They want connectivity. They want to, there's actually, not to make this a super spiritual thing, but there is a turning in this generation of people coming back to the old way of doing things and wanting to be the way that their grandparents were, their great grandparents were. Even people that, have you seen the trend of little white chapels that all these venues are putting, like all over the country? I see little white chapels being built at venues, and it's because this generation, whether they're spiritual people or not, are longing for tradition and longing to again go back to something that makes them feel connected in a bigger sense.
Well, first of all, just bringing that why and that sense of purpose. I always tell people, hey, how much money are you going to take to the grave?
Exactly.
Exactly, honey. And guess what? When I turn around and I see my bride crying of happiness, or one
Uh-huh.
of my personal favorite moments is when they do the first look with the dad that is gonna be walking his little girl down the aisle, and he starts crying. Well, I just that I will take to heaven, absolutely. So it's that sense of purpose, and you can have both.
Yes.
That's what people need to remember. It's not exclusive. And yes, you can actually make a huge difference. You can pour incredible value, incredible excellence. You can go above and beyond and receive at the same time abundant blessings, financial blessings, with literally with tears of happiness. When people are blessing us, they don't give us money. No,
Uh-huh.
they pour financial blessings onto us. And with that level of respect and sacredness, you are to receive those. Take it, continue to create and continue to build a high performance team that will have that essence of excellence and heart. So I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
very, very,
And
very important.
I do want to just piggyback on what you said about building a team that shares that, because I really think that if you have team that don't represent your core values and your heart truly, it can break your brand, right? Because if your brand is heart driven and you know whatever it is, like you need to make sure that the team that you have are a good representation of your heart and your soul. And I feel I want to be careful how I say this, but you know, when we sold our venue, the number one thing that people said to us that actually honestly breaks my heart, but also it makes me happy in the sense that what I was doing mattered. They said to me, "The soul left when you left. The soul left." And that just again, like, I cry about it a lot because I didn't want that, but there's so much about what we do as business owners, as venue owners, that I don't want you to diminish. Your heart matters, your soul matters, the way that you build your team matters. And you need to make sure that if you have people on your team that aren't in alignment, that you let them go as quickly as possible. I say all of the time, hire slow, fire fast, right? And if
Yes.
they are not in alignment, you let them go, right? So if someone meets Mary and does a tour with her and they're like, oh my gosh, she's so heart driven. And then they meet with their, event manager or whatever, and she's just a bull in a china shop, that's not going to be a good look for us. And so, again, so important for you to understand not only your why, but the heart and soul behind how you want to lead your team, which will be ultimately, right, a reflection of you as a business owner. So, okay,
This
we
and
could
this is
talk
this
about
is
that.
no, and this is very, very important because that was one of our main, for example, in the law profession, right? Oh my gosh. I mean, talking about tough, and especially as a woman in the legal field. Whoa. I'm practicing
Yeah.
civil like plaintiffs trial work. They are not the kindest souls there. Let me tell you that much. And probably their soul is very kind, but they and we have been trained that's what they literally train you or brainwash you that
Uh-huh.
her happiness or their happiness is to your detriment.
Yep. Yep.
And the same goes true with abundance. You think that that person is doing so well, the house and the family and the car, and the vacation, and you're like, oh my gosh, they're taking it away from me. No, that doesn't work that way. That is an actual lie. So that was to get to reprogram, rewire, and unlearn a faulty software, so to speak, or teaching. For example, in the legal profession, as a woman, you have to be strong, and they tell you that there is no any space for feelings. Otherwise, they call you a bunch of names.
Weak.
Uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
well, they call you yes, to say
Yeah.
to say the least.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
normally it's a male driven
Yeah.
career. So you will show up to a hearing and they will look at you and they were like, "Huh, are you the secretary or are you and it's not like that is not as important, but trying to bring you down. So it was very, very challenging, especially with women. It was very clear to me that there was a lot of healing that needed to take place in all different aspects. But coming from there, the perspective that you have as a business owner comes from the male dominated, very, I'm going to come and I'm going to say and I'm going to do and you better not, so all that dictatorship, you do it my
Mhm.
way or the highway kind of
Yep.
way. Um, and what I have learned throughout all this process, and that really, I made so many mistakes, and I didn't know anything about business, is that it does not have to be that way.
Yeah.
And especially as a woman, I you can still say no, that is not allowed. This is gonna be the first time, or first time and last time that you're gonna be doing that because you were clear, you gave instructions, you gave training, you provided the right tools, you answered the questions, and if they still decide not to do it, well, you is you need to let them go because otherwise not only breaks your reputation, it will break you, Tirzah.
Exactly. Yes.
You
Yes.
cannot do it. It gets to a point where with the company, you can only sustain a company working 15 to plus hours per day. It will take a toll on you. You will end up sick, divorced, and with your
Yep.
children hating you because they haven't even seen you. So it's that aspect that is so, so crucial of building a high performance team. And
Yeah.
for that, you need to be I have learned that what I can offer to my team, the most valuable thing is not the money. It is not the money. Yes, I will be providing for them with the same level of love and the same level of abundance that our families are blessing us with. I will be providing for them because it is my pleasure. I call them the sanctuary family. While at the same time, it is the culture. It is a very
Yes.
healthy culture. Is the when you heal as a leader, you see others' growth not as a threat, but as as your calling. You have to be honored to be in position of leadership, and endowed within that, it is for you to help others develop into the highest potential as you continue to develop into your highest potential. So it's that aspect of let's all win together. Why? Because that is the way.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness. I'm hearing you talk and thinking about so many times that I sat in staff meeting with my team and felt so unbelievably full of gratitude for the people that were in my circle, but also at the same time, I'm not saying this in a prideful way, but I just know that there's a lot of bad leaders out there, like you said, people that lead with aggression and the work environment out there in the world is not a really pleasant place to be. And I think that for our listeners today, I wasn't expecting the conversation to go in this direction, but I think it's so very important that to be successful, you need to have team. And so many of us are working our fingers to the bones, right? Like you were, Mary, like building your venue. But at some point, you had to stop the brick and mortar aspect of it and knew that you can't be the one that is building all of the time and that you needed to have teams so that you could work on your business and not always in your business. And I think this is, if I were to say, probably the number one area where a lot of venues get trapped is they don't feel like they have the resources, that their venue isn't successful enough to hire someone to help them. But sometimes you have to make the sacrifice to bring the team in so that you can grow beyond what you can do just by yourself. I
Absolutely.
hope people hear me say this because there is no way that we could have gotten to be a multi-million-dollar revenue a year business by myself. There's no possible way that I could have done that by myself, and
Uh,
our
uh,
yeah,
uh,
go ahead.
no, well, it's very simple why to see why you're so successful. I do deserve it because of the fact that when you, and I understand how hard it is because that's never gonna happen here. I'm gonna make sure that gets in a trust or something because my children are not telling this. No, but I completely understand because that's exactly how I feel, and that is just that aspect of just providing that level of transformation and coming from your parents because your dad and you love them and you're following that legacy, and not only that but creating new ways to actually do it. But
Exactly.
I want to say that there are not bad leaders out there, well, quote unquote, because well, if you want to call them that way, it will be, I want to say that it's more injured, like people, unhealed leaders out there that they don't know because most of the information we don't know. The more you
Right.
know, the more you realize that you don't know. So my experience is that it will be the aspect of healing because that is fundamental. If you don't
Yes.
heal, you will still be angry. I was one of those leaders. I was bringing all that bullying, like I saw I think my dad was a how it was the closest thing to like a business uh, influence in my life, and he was very male to have to do it my way, micromanage, and that's the old way to be, and that's just normally what it is taught. So I came with the same, and oh no, it was not pretty. It was not pretty. So I was one of them. I was very angry. I did not know how to be a leader,
Yeah.
and yeah. So I definitely, yeah, absolutely. I was a very poor leader. Yeah, I will not have worked for me, not even, but 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 yeah, and so it's so my point is like, yeah, you have it within yourself, guys. You get it, but guess what? You need to heal yourself. What does that mean? That means that we need to check, just like you say, um, there is something within you that if there is a piece of information that doesn't resonate, ask that question. Why is it that money has to come, or why is it that I have the idea that money has to come with struggle, or money has to come with a lack of, or money has to come with guilt. Do I deserve to really be have somebody that helps me? Do I really deserve the high performance team? So is that aspect of doing the inner work, personal development, and at the same time to learn. That is another one of my keys that I highly recommend anybody that is listening right now, guys. Most leaders do not know how to be good business people, and there's just so much. You could be as smart as you could. You could be. You could be a doctor. You could be a accountant. You can be an attorney. You can be an engineer. If you did not learn business, you are ignorant at that, and you will suck. You will be highly incompetent. And guess what? To build a high performance team is not about the money. Yes, you do have to provide a competent and especially a very nice a salary that is according to the market. But mainly is they choose. They don't have to. They choose to follow you. And for that, you need to become that version of yourself that is worthy of being followed.
So good. I'm like waving a white hanky over here. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm in church. But no, I think it's so very true because a lot of times people, and I coach every single day talking to venue owners that, they get into this for a myriad of different reasons, but a lot of us are not great business people. And that's not something that I'm saying to make you feel shame. A lot of us came into this, we're either still keeping our full-time job and doing our venue quote unquote part-time, which there is absolutely no such thing as doing it part-time, right? You basically have two full-time jobs, or people that come at it and they have like a totally different background and all of a sudden they find themselves struggling with sales, right? And this is one of the things that I say to people all of the time, whether you want it or not, as venue owners, we're all in sales. We're in sales. Like that is just how it is. And you have to become an expert at your craft, right? As business owners, there's also so many more resources that you guys have at your fingertips that I did not have 32 years ago. When we started our first business, we didn't even have social media, right? Like it was totally different. But now there's so many tools that you have, like what Mary is saying, like you are a business owner and a lot of us don't even know our numbers. We don't know like what we're making on each event. Like, like the basic things. We don't know our conversion rate. We don't know our average spend on what, like there's just so much that is so important for us as venue owners to understand our numbers. And when we don't understand our numbers, of course you couldn't understand how to scale your business to grow to be how Mary and I are, where we have big teams and great successful businesses. You have to treat your venue as a professional, as a business. You have to understand that you are in sales, and that's not a dirty cuss word. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't do sales. Yes, everyone is in sales. If you own a business, you have to understand sales. And oh my gosh, there's so many wonderful educators in the sales field. And I do want to kind of transition a little bit as we wrap up today. I want to talk about, you are in a market in Southern Florida that I know is probably extremely competitive. And how do you feel that you have tackled marketing your venue and standing out from all the other people around you? Like, what has been some insights that you could give people that are trying to figure out how to stand out in a really busy market?
Yeah, no, and that is a great question, especially right now with AI coming to the forefront and changing all the rules of SEO. It is paramount, guys, to get to study. Just study for the love of God. With that, you're not gonna be afraid. So it will be absolutely, training, sales, get a coach, get into seminars, order some audiobooks if you don't want to read, do whatever, but it is so paramount that you start to, because you can have the best product, but if they don't know about it, you're going to be done. They're not going to buy it, and you're going to end up bankrupt. So it's very, very important that you train yourself and continue constantly updating what works, what doesn't work, depending on what is it that what will be the difference between you and any other venues. So I think that is, for example, in my case, it's just very clear. Like I can tell my bride and look at her in the eyes and say, listen, I will tell you one thing. I have been here for 13 years. Nobody else will care the way I do for your wedding. This is the foundation of the family. This is the beginning of your family. You get to decide what to create. Part of what we're doing here, we do like a spa day, quote unquote. So surprise, it's actually at the core. It's very similar to actually what you were mentioning. So we are not religious at all, but we are driven, we're holistic. It's like body, mind, and spirit. And it's in full alignment to any religion that is coming from a place of love and light. So it's in full alignment. So for example, we do a spa day for my couples. This is one of the main differences. 1 month before their special day, Monday and Tuesdays, they have a full spa day where they do breathing work. They learn about essential oils. They try some green juice cold pressed with organic sunflower, green pea, coconut water, orange juice, and maybe some like ginger or turmeric. It's so important that we take care of ourselves, because if you don't take care of yourself, like remember, when I'm working like 15-hour days, and am I going to be in a nice mood? No, I'm going to be in a miserable mood. I'm going to want to like choke everybody and curse like a Mexican truck driver. Not that, but it's just part of releasing anger, people. So so yeah, it's like you need to take care of yourself. So this way, if you eat well, if you are not on social media all the time, because that thing is it's a drug. It's a horrible, horrible drug. So you get or your dopamines, serotonin depleted. So you need to take care of yourself. Move, for the love of God. Move, like work out, start walking around, spend time with Mother Nature. So if you don't pour love into yourself and care into yourself, you will suck at any other relationship. Being that a romantic relationship, a business relationship, your kids. So I want my beautiful couple to learn, because maybe some of them, they have these incredible parents, but others, they're just like me. We didn't even know that was even possible. Yes. That I even deserve that. So for me, it's so important that my couples know all these things and now we are implementing, we have as the second phase of the sanctuary, and I'm super, 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 super excited, because we're going to be doing and bringing all that knowledge to the forefront of stress management with the law, with the legal field. And then I start doing seminars. So they remember to bring the soul into your practice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's very beautiful. So it will be that. It will be training. See, what is it that separates you? What is it that sets your soul on fire? That if money was not an issue, would you still do it? And you feel your heart just expanding. And once you start tapping into that, it's just, there's no limits. I see no limits, and I see abundance. I see transformation. But it takes commitment and a decision to actually just do it. Like, look at me. Yeah. I came from divorced parents. I never thought that this was possible. And I'm here to tell you that yes, yes, and yes, it is possible. And it is absolutely incredible.
Oh my goodness. Well, today was so encouraging and enlightening, and I hope that as listeners are kind of absorbing this whole conversation today, that you will take away from this conversation just our encouragement for you to connect to your why, connect to your soul, connect to what drives you. Why are you working so hard? And yes, we want to be successful business owners. We want to make money. There is no shame in that at all. Our businesses absolutely should make money. And money is a reflection of, I think the way that we use our money is a reflection of our soul and our our priorities and things too, right? So if you are a bit of a jerk, right? And you make money, you become more of a jerk, right? If that is where you're kind of at, right? If you're selfish and you make money, you just become more selfish. But if you are connected and in real true alignment to giving, to a true sense of why you're doing this and you make money, you're only going to be able, the sky's the limit, like Mary said. And I truly believe this and in my heart that my venue was as successful as it was because I understood why I was doing that and I was connected to something deeper than just making money, right? And I think a lot of people that are listening to this, I want you to hear me. I understand that you're extremely tired. What we do is hard work. When I hear people say that I'm going to start a venue in my retirement, I always think a little bit in my heart because I'm like, this is going to be the hardest work of your life. This is, oh my goodness. But there's a lot of us that have found ourselves in a situation where we're depleted, we are disconnected, we are grinding all of the time, and we've lost a lot of the joy of what it means to do what we do, to get to be a part of such a beautiful um, experience in someone's life. And so, this is our encouragement to you to just get reconnected back to why you started doing this in the first place. And I also want to give you permission that if you are in alignment, that it's okay to release it. It's okay that if this something that is a drain on your soul, that you don't feel joy in it, that it's not something that you want to pass down to your children, that you feel like, that was a decision that I had to make. Do I want my daughter to be the fifth generation or will it end at the fourth generation? That was a very big, hard decision for me to make. But I knew that it was what was gonna be best for my family, and so I just wanna give you permission as you're listening to this, that if you feel out of alignment and you feel like, "You know what? Like, I'm tired. My soul is tired. I feel like there's something else for me to do." I want to give you permission that that's okay, and it's not a failure. It's not, right? I think some of you, I know this for sure, are gonna be listening to me and Mary talk about our heart and our soul and our alignment to what it is that we do, and you're gonna be like, I do not relate to that at all. um, I get it. I get it. And it's not always like a neat and tidy box that we fit into as venue owners. We all do it for different reasons and in different ways. But I feel so much gratitude for this time that we've had together today, Mary. So thank you. We will put your social media links and your website links in our show notes. Please go give her some love on her social media, but also check out her website because you guys, you'll understand what I'm saying. It's so beautiful. I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, we need to have a venue owners retreat there or something like that. It looks so beautiful. So, thank you for your time today, Mary. I really, truly appreciate it. Thanks for sharing your heart with us today. So, this is the conclusion of today's episode. But again, if you're listening today,
Thank you.
please feel free to, yes, share this podcast with other venue owner friends that you know. And if you know someone in the Miami area that is looking to get married, be sure to send them Mary's way as well. So, any closing words for us today, Mary, before we close?
So thank you so much for all your heart. I could feel it all, and everything that you're doing, and your soul has never left. It's just expanding, Angel, expanding, and it's still there. So just we truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate it. So thank you so much for all you do. And yes, it is possible, guys. So don't worry, we can make it happen. So
Exactly.
thank you,
I
thank
tell
you,
people
thank
all
you.
the time, everything is figure outable. Everything is figure outable. You just, as long as you have that drive inside of you to do it, it is possible. You're right. So, all right, you guys, thank you for joining us today on the Venue Success Podcast. We'll see you next time.